Presenting daily grammar practice, a more meaningful and less time-consuming method of grammar instruction. Daily Grammar Practice, or DGP, is a unique, highly successful research-based approach to helping students worldwide to understand, apply, and actually remember grammar concepts. It is a simple, logical process that actually moves grammar concepts to long-term memory so that students can apply the concepts to their writing.
We haven't just produced the same old materials with a new look. We've created a completely new way to approach grammar, and it's a way that is truly meaningful. Whereas most grammar approaches are organized by concept, a lesson on nouns, a lesson on verbs, daily grammar practice requires students to work with one sentence for a week at a time, analyzing it further each day, so by the end of the week they see how all the concepts connect. Skills are always taught at the sentence level, never in isolation.
Let's take a look at how DGP works. On Monday, either before coming to class or as a bell ringer activity, students identify the part of speech of each word in this week's sentence. Students may do their work on notebook paper or in a workbook. If using notebook paper, give each student a list of the sentences and daily instructions, reproducible from the teacher's guide.
Okay, so we got the same thing? We're good? Check the notes, make sure it's right.
Help pages, which are organized by the day of the week, allow students to learn as they go, so there's no need to pre-teach grammar concepts. Help notes are included in the students' workbooks, or you may reproduce them from the teacher's guide. A quick sweep of the classroom will tell you which students have attempted the day's assignment. Then go over the answers as a class. Students can come forward to write in answers, or you can write in answers as students call them out.
What did you put for I?
First nominative pronoun.
First nominative pronoun, right?
Students correct any errors they have made and ask any questions they may have. You explain any new concepts that the sentence presents. The whole process takes just a couple of minutes and you're ready to move on with class. Students learn through daily repetition and discovery. No drill-style grammar exercises are necessary. You can go over DGP on an interactive whiteboard or just an LCD projector, on an overhead projector, or even just on chalk or dry erase board. On Tuesday, students use the same sentence and identify the sentence parts.
We looked at the parts of speech for all the words in the sentence, so today we're going to see what they're doing in the sentence. And the first thing we want to do is look at our verb from yesterday. And what was our verb?
Give. Shall give.
Shall give. Okay, the verb phrase was shall give. And we're just going to do what I call bringing down the verb. We're going to move the verb from Monday to Tuesday and go ahead and label it. All right, and then we're going to find our subject by backing up and saying who shall give or what shall give?
You.
I, right? All right, so that's our subject. And then I shall give what?
Advice.
Advice. Is there always an answer to the what question?
No.
No, and that means we don't have a direct object. In this case, there is an answer, and we do have a direct object. So advice is our direct object. By the way, if our verb were linking, would we have a direct object?
No.
No, we could either have a predicate adjective or predicate nominative, right? We only have a direct object with an action verb. Since we have a direct object, is our verb transitive or intransitive?
Transitive.
Transitive, so we're going to put a T here for transitive. All right. And then to or for whom are we going to give that advice?
You.
You. And so to find our indirect object, we back up, ask to or for whom, and that's our indirect object. All right, what do we do with Harriet?
It's in a positive.
Good guess. And a positive comes after and renames a noun. A noun of a direct address. Good, because what we're doing is addressing Harriet or speaking to her directly. We're directly addressing her. So speaking to Harriet, we can move Harriet to the beginning of the sentence. Harriet, I shall not give you any advice. All right, so let's take a look up here at the help note that you also have in your book. All right, and we know what the simple subject is. Our complete subject is the simple subject plus what?
It's modifier.
Any of its modifiers. So anything that's modifying the simple subject is going to be part of the complete subject. All right, well, the complete predicate works the same way. Anything that's modifying the verb will be part of the complete verb. And if you think about your diagram, that means that anything on this side of the diagram, T, is going to be complete subject. Anything on that side is going to be complete predicate, right? All right, so let's take a look here. We said that our subject was I. Does anything modify for I? So that's also our complete subject. All right, does anything modify shall get?
Yeah.
Not. What else?
Any advice.
Yeah, pretty much all of that, right? So all that is going to be your complete predicate, and everything is going to be complete, so part of the complete predicate or part of the complete subject, except for a noun direct address. Other words that wouldn't be included would be a coordinating conjunction between clauses, interjections. So there are a few words that are not included, but for the most part, everything's going to be in the complete subject or predicate. All right, let's check. All right. Does that look like yours?
Yes.
Does anybody have a question about Tuesday before we move on with class?
On Wednesday, students use the same sentence and identify clauses, sentence type, and purpose.
All right, how many subject-verb sets did we have on Tuesday? One or two. We had two verbs in our verb phrase, right? But we only had one subject to go with that verb phrase. All right, so if we only have one subject and verb set, how many clauses do we have? One clause. Where does it start? Good. And where does it end?
Harriet.
Advice. Remember yesterday, Harriet wasn't part of the clause or part of the subject or predicate, and that means she doesn't get to be part of the clause. Poor Harriet. All right, so we end here. And is that clause independent or dependent? Independent. How do we know?
It can stand by itself.
Okay, it can stand on its own. It has a subject and a verb. A dependent clause has a subject and verb too, but it doesn't work on its own as a sentence, right? It'll start with a subordinating conjunction, relative pronouns, like that. All right, also we know that every sentence has to have a what? What kind of clause? No. Every sentence has to have an independent clause. So you can't have a sentence that's just a dependent clause. That wouldn't work. All right? So we do have an independent clause. What kind of sentence do we get if we have one independent clause? Simple. And what's the purpose of this one? Declarative. Right. All right. How do we do?
Good.
Everybody got it?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have a question about Wednesday?
On Thursday, once students understand the structure of the week's sentence, they can make informed choices about capitalization and punctuation. While some teachers require students to insert capitalization and punctuation every day, on Thursday, students should be able to justify their corrections. In grades 1 through 5, students also have the opportunity to create new sentences based on the structure of their DGP sentence for the week. On Friday, students diagram the week's sentence as a graphic organizer, enabling them to see how all the parts connect to form a bigger picture. Students usually enjoy diagramming on the board. Some teachers invite dueling diagrammers to the board on Friday. Daily Grammar Practice introduces diagramming in the 4th grade, asking students to fill certain words into the week's diagram structure. In the 5th and 6th grade, students are provided the diagram structure only. For the first few weeks, it may be helpful to provide the structure for 7th through 12th grade students who have never diagrammed before. The first few weeks of DGP are challenging because most students have not pulled grammar concepts together in this way before. However, if you will lead them through and show them how to use their help notes, you'll find that after a few weeks, they'll be able to complete each day's lesson in just 2 or 3 minutes. When first getting started, it's helpful to work as a whole class or in small groups.
As you can see, DGP is not just about correcting errors in sentences. Students learn the fundamentals of grammatical structure, and they develop a language for talking about writing. As a result, writing lessons are more meaningful and more effective.
Daily grammar practice is most effective when used every week. Students will master some skills quickly, while others will take longer, but that's okay. Each week's sentence will review concepts in a new context and will sometimes introduce a new concept. Sentences start out simple and get increasingly difficult as the year goes on. A scope and sequence chart available online and in each teacher's guide shows which skills are addressed at each grade level. DGP is effective for all grade levels and ability levels, as well as for English language learners. Studies show marked improvements at all grade levels, and a retention study shows that students retain what they learn even after summer break. First published in 2003, DGP is available for first grade through college. Grades 6 through 12 are now available in 2 editions. The advanced version uses sentences from literature which are inherently more complex and contain more challenging vocabulary. The original version addresses the same skills but with simpler sentences. Daily grammar practice is used in public, private, and home schools in all 50 states and more than a dozen foreign countries. Daily grammar practice is also available for students learning French, Latin, and Spanish. A biblical version allows students at 6 different levels to memorize a Bible verse while learning grammar. DGP Publishing also provides innovative and proven methods for teaching writing, reading comprehension, vocabulary, and spelling. Visit www.dgppublishing.com or find us on Facebook to learn why teachers, students, and parents love our materials.